Hey guys, welcome back to Farmstead Forge. Today I'm doing a video on building some meat hooks. We'll take a look at some of these meat hooks I'm using today, but I'm building a longer style for a friend of mine because he does not have equipment to handle a beef when he comes and gets a beef. He just puts the quarters in the back of his pickup and then backs into his garage, lifts them up, hooks them on his rafters. So we're gonna build a special kind for that, kind of like just like my grandpa built back in the day. And I'll show you how those work. This cow's hanging weight, she was probably around 900 pounds for the 3-year-old. The cow I had last year was a 10-year-old dry cow, and she was around 1,200 pounds dressed out hang weight. She was a big girl. They're getting these black Angus cows pretty big these days. Just got these little short meat hooks. These work great for our setup, but like I said, they won't work for his. Behind those picnic tables, I actually have it wired, so this corner in my shop will be a cooler eventually, and then above there I will have a loft, so all that 8-foot storage. Tie guy, hey, be quiet. And then over there is my welding bay. But yeah, then I can come right in with my skid steer, and I'll have a rail going into my cooler. I can just hang, so we don't have to wait for the weather to get cold every time we butcher. I got the front hanging there, or the hindquarters hanging there. My front is over here, hanging up. And then the nice part about building the new shop onto my old shop is I can shut these doors. I can keep my new shop nice and clean while my meat hangs, and I can still build some fun things in there. So let's run out and see if we gotta get a fire going, I guess. And then I gotta go find some stuff to build a jig, and we'll get started. Ready? Let me get some wood.
I need to do my hammer.
You need your hammer? How's that gonna help us start a fire?
After Christmas, we'll have a lot of cardboard for starting fires.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of cardboard.
Alright, give me them matches, kid. Or your lighter. Here we go. You're doing this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do it. You need to put strong.
Here.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah, there's some nails in there. We burn a lot in here.
Yeah, we do burn on there.
Alright, got our fire going?
Yeah.
Alright, you take off. Snoop, 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 bang. With this jig, I left myself a little giveaway, so if I want to add another piece in here, or even add a piece down here, I can, and get some longer ones. These ones will be right at about 2 feet, I guess, and that gives me enough room I can hang and still hook chains or do the old style, and I'll show you that at the end. And it gives you room. You're not resting on your rib cage or your shank if you have a shank hanging up, sticking up here ways. And then this little guy, I will weld in the center, and that just gives me a place to clamp it in my vise. is where I like to take advantage of this last little bit of heat right here. There we have it. What are you building? You're making a lot of noise. Huh? You know, what are you building?
Something that upper box that is on
Oh.
top.
Oh, cool.
Then I can
I got these all wire wheeled up really nice. I'll take them up to the house and put a nice thin coating of lard on that we render down ourselves from pig fat. And then I'll put them in the oven for probably an hour at around 350, 400 degrees. And I'll just season them nice so they won't rust on me. I think my friend Dennis will get a lot of good use out of these. Stay on there. So these square ends, my grandpa designed back when we had a lot of old wood grain bins. That's where they'd hang their elk quarters. And so with these, you could back your pickup in there, hook your quarter, and then they would hang right over your 2x6 rafter. And that's kind of the setup my friend Dennis has. So I think you'll get a lot of good use out of these. He's made our family some really beautiful custom-made hunting knives over the years, so it'd be just a nice way to repay him back. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to keep it simple, and I'll catch you in the next one.